Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's fundamental analysis. My name is Anthony Phillips Njoku, the founder of Tenet Digital Link, and today we'll be talking about the fundamental analysis that will drive the forex market from the time period of May 5th to May 9th. Okay, so how this usually goes is that we're going to talk about each news event, when it will happen, what figure we should expect, and how we should react to it. So literally on Monday, today, we had early in the morning global service PMI for Australia, and it was negative 51. Okay. So this global service PMI is meant to make Australian dollar to be weak, okay, because it went below expectation, even went below the previous figure. Okay. So but as you can see on the chart, AUD has been giving massive strength against the dollar. Okay, that could be some other fundamental involvement that is driving the price. Meanwhile, for CAD, we have the global service PMI by 230. Okay. So if you say if you go higher than 41, it is going to make CAD strong. If you say if you go lower than 41, it's going to make CAD weak. Then we have by then we have by 245 the US S&P Global Service PMI. Okay, so if we have a figure higher than 51.4, it should make dollar strong. If we have a figure lower than 51.4, it should make dollar weak. Then the next is the ISM Service PMI. This ISM Service PMI now, if we see a figure higher than 50.6, it should make dollar weak. If we see a figure lower than 50.6, it should make dollar strong. Okay. I hope I stated this clearly. The ISM service payment, we see if you go higher than 50.6, should make dollar strong. If we see if you go lower than 50.6, should make dollar weak, okay? Then on Tuesday, early in the morning London session, we have unemployment rate for CHF, okay? And this could be a trigger because I've been expecting a sell-off from CHF against the dollar, okay? So if this figure comes down negative by 645, okay, we see if you go lower than 2 higher than 2.9, probably get 3, okay? Then you should make CHF weak, and then dollar should buy massively against it. So as I was saying, if this figure comes out higher than 2.9, should make CHF weak. But if you see a figure lower than 2.9, should make CHF was strong. Then we have unemployment change for Euro. Then that's by 8 a.m. Okay, so a higher figure than 6.9K should make Euro strong. A lower figure than 6.9K should make Euro weak. Okay, because the change means that people that say that they're unemployed, it has changed to that they're now employed. So a higher figure than 6.5 is good for Euro. A lower figure is bad for Euro. You can see the previous figure is minus 13.32. Okay, so for you to even be 6.5, it's a very massive good news for Euro. Then we have the HCOB service PMI. Okay, the HCOB service PMI over here now is that if you see a figure higher than 53.9, it should give Euro strength. But we see a figure lower than 53.9, it should give Euro weakness. Then we have the HCOB service PMI for Spain, Italy, France, Germany, Euro Central, all of them. If you see a figure higher than each figure here on the consensus, it should give Euro strength. A lower figure should give Euro weakness. But in such news event like this, I always like to wait for the last one to drop. That is by 9 o'clock before I take a decision either to buy or sell Euro. Okay, based on experience. Then we have by 9:30 the GBP Global Service PMI. The figure higher than 48.9 is good for GBP. Figure lower than 48.9 is bad for GBP. Then the afternoon during New York session, we have balance of trade, which has to do with total imports minus total exports for CAD. Okay. So this is balance of trade. You see a figure higher than minus 1.7 billion Canadian dollars. Okay, it is good for CAD. Lower than minus 1.7 billion Canadian dollars, it is bad for CAD. Before the tariff war started, this figure used to be positive, but due to the tariff war now, CAD is now in a negative territory because they're not doing more imports than exports to the US. Okay, so that's it. So if this news turns out negative, we should see way more bearish sentiments on CAD, and then investors should sell off CAD against any other currency. And we have the PMI. If you see a figure higher than 51.2, it should give card strength. A lower figure than 51.2 should give card weakness. Then we have the employment change quarter over quarter. That was in Asia session on Tuesday by 11:45 p.m. Okay. Yeah, employment change. If you see a figure higher than 0.1, it should give NZB strength. A lower than 0.1, it should give NZB weakness. Then we have unemployment rate quarter one. If you see a figure higher than 5.3, it should give NZD weakness. Then we see a figure lower than 5.3, should give NZD strength. Then we have on Wednesday, okay, retail sales early in the morning London session by 9 a.m. for Europe. We have retail sales down to 10 a.m. Okay. So what it means is that if we see a figure higher than 0.2%, it is strength for Euro. A lower figure is bad for Euro. Okay. A lower figure than 0.2 is bad. The same thing aligns with all this to your 10 a.m. Then during New York session, we have interest rate decision by the Fed. And due to the statements Trump has been laying out to the public for a long time, the Fed needs to cut interest rate, the Fed needs to lower rates, the Fed needs to lower rates. So if we see a cut of this interest rate, it should give the dollar some certain weakness. Okay, if there is a massive cut of this, they're expecting the rate to stay unchanged. Okay, and due to some sentiments by the banks, okay, they're saying that rates could be cut by September or so. Okay, so if that is it, dollar should maintain its stability. But if the rate is cut, dollar should lose strength. And then press conference by 7:30 should qualify to the drop for the dollar as well. So on Thursday, we have early morning London session balance of trade. Okay. This is total imports minus total exports. Over here now, they say that the figure is 19 billion, before is 17.7 billion. So you see a figure higher than 19 billion is good for Euro, buys for Euro. A lower than 19 billion is bad for Euro, sells for Euro. So by 12 on Thursday, we have interest rate decision for Great Britain pound. They expect to cut interest rate by 0.25%. This is already certain. So this is going to make Great Britain pound lose some massive strength. Okay, if this happens, Great Britain pound should lose strength and it should lose strength against every other currency. Then we have the press conference that will also go on by 12 that same Thursday. Then we have the initial jobless claim for New York session by 1:30. Okay, like every other week, if you see a figure higher than 235K, okay, it's bad for dollar, but if you have figure than 235K, it is good for the dollar. This is a derivative of initial jobless claim. Continuous jobless claim is a derivative. The main one is this initial jobless claim. And on Friday, to wrap it up, May 9th, 2025, we have the New York session news, employment change for card. If you see a figure higher than 22.5K, it is good for card. The lower figure is bad for card. Then unemployment rate, if you see a figure higher than 6.7%, it is bad for card. A lower figure than 6.7%, it is good for card. So that is literally what I see right now for the fundamental analysis. I hope that this helps you to be able to stay informed, stay educated, and also make a good trading decision so that you can be able to turn out profitable. If you don't want to miss any of our trading signals or even miss any of our trading opportunities, go to the link in the description, join our VIP group, okay? It's just going to cost a little fee, and then you can be able to start making profits with us while we trade on our live sessions every day.